Just thank you for choosing here. I mean, this is just amazing that everybody wants to be here with us. And I'm so happy to be here with you. I'm Reverend Linda. And we're going to talk about something real light, the science of mind, or more popularly known as neuroscience. The science of mind is what we study here. And it's so interesting because you're going to get a chance to actually create an affirmation to take home with you. And there is a place in your bulletin to write that. If you need more room, then Claire has some cards that she can share with you at the time. But that'll be a little bit later. I'm going to teach you a few things first. So if you haven't done affirmations before, you'll be able to walk out with an affirmation. That'll be a great Mother's Day. We're actually doing affirmations in our healthy relationship class. And where did Greg go? I don't see Greg. He was here. He's the teacher that's teaching our class, and it's an amazing class. We're learning a lot, and there's Greg. So he's he's teaching healthy relationships on Thursday night. Yeah, I think 2 more classes, 2 more Thursdays. And we're even going to talk about, he doesn't know this yet, but there's several people that would like to continue with that type of study, healthy relationships. So that may happen. We'll let you know for sure. So we're going to talk about our point of view from the science of mind perspective. Our thoughts and words create our reality. And does anybody know what that means? Raise your hand if you know what that means. Okay, most of you. And some know it, they just don't know they know it. So we're going to talk about it. So this is how it works. If you can imagine, you've got a package of seeds. And you take a seed or a few seeds and you put it in the ground, fertile soil, and it grows into a plant. And that's it. So you plant a seed in your mind, and you fertilize it with your good thoughts, and it comes to fruition in your life. It's that simple. It's simple. It's not always easy, but it is simple. If you plant a tomato seed, it doesn't change its mind after being planted. It becomes a tomato. It doesn't say, oh, I don't think I want to be a tomato. I want to be a banana. It's not going to happen because the seed in itself has everything it needs to become that thing. The same as what you plant in your mind. Has everything. Everything is in that one seed. And you plant it and it comes to fruition. And that could be a positive thing or maybe not so positive. It could be that your seed is something that you feel about yourself that maybe it's not so good right now. There's times that I feel invisible. And so if I feel invisible, I have probably planted a seed that I'm not worthy, I don't have anything important to say, and so that comes true. That's what you fertilize, and it becomes a thing. If I say, I'm smart, I'm worthy, I have something to say, I want people to hear it, then you planted that seed of goodness, and it comes to fruition. It's not a miracle. It's really not a miracle. Miracles can happen, and they do happen, but it is science. And that's why this teaching that we are in is so cool and so important, is that it's scientific, and it can be proven. And there's a lot of wonderful things besides the science of it that happens, because we are people, and we become more real as people. Because your subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between a positive or a negative thought. It just says yes to everything. Right? Does that make sense? I know. It's the miracle and the problem. Every thought we think and every word we speak is creating our future. Everything. You may have heard about Dr. Emoto and his water experiments. Anybody hear about Dr. Emoto? Have you, Tina? Well, we're going to not talk about the water experiments. This is even kind of more interesting to me, is his cooked rice experiments. So what he did is he placed cooked rice into 3 containers. On one container, he wrote the words, "Thank you." On the next one, it said, "You fool." And the third one was just, there was nothing, no writing, no nothing. So children were instructed to speak aloud the words on each jar when they walked by them for 30 days. At the end of the 30 days, the rice with the words "thank you" was relatively unchanged, and a little bit fluffier and just, perfect. The rice with the words "you fool" turned black. And the rice in the ignored container began to rot. Nothing was said to it. It was just ignored, where the other 2 were getting some attention, some negative attention, some positive. So that's what happens. That's what happens to us too with what we plant. If it's ignored, if you plant something good and you don't nurture it or believe in it, then it's just going to rot. It's just going to go away. And that goes for positive or negative. Because sometimes it's hard to transform those negative thoughts into something more positive. But if you ignore it or work on it, say positive affirmations to overlay the negative, then you're going to get a positive result. So why do you think the jar rice that was ignored began to rot? Just any thoughts about that? Barbara? Abandonment, yeah. Yeah? Mm-hmm. Anything else? No caring. Right. Yeah, missing love, no attention. Yeah. And this is not a test, but it's real life in orphanages. Children, babies that are not held won't last. They won't grow, they won't learn, and they die relatively young. But if they have people come in even just to hug for a little while each day, because some of the orphanages in other countries don't have the privilege of having a lot of staff. So people come in, volunteer just to hug the baby for even a little while each day. It will thrive. Maybe not as much if it was in a family, of course, but it will thrive and learn. It'll be more open to that. So the thing that you intend, the intention that is set, is the minute you make that intention, it exists, but you're only aware of the reality that you choose to observe. So the physical manifestation, just like in the seed, everything is there. But the physical manifestation of that thing, it remains enfolded outside your current consciousness until you're ready to accept it. So that's when it's nurtured and the seed is planted and it starts to grow. So cutting-edge physicists tell us life is multidimensional. And we talk about, parallel universes, and, there's a lot of science in that whole area. And it's restricted. We're stuck in our one-dimensional physical reality, restricted to what we experience with our 5 senses. What we see, experience, and feel always comes after the decision to see it, to experience, to feel it. So if you have a TV, anybody not have a TV here? You're right. Well, it's on hold for now. You probably have more than 100 channels on your TV, right? And all that information, all that programming is in there. But you usually only watch one show at a time, unless you have a split screen and you can handle 2 or 3 shows. But most people, it's one show at a time. So if you're watching Fox TV or CNN, you're getting one type of programming. If you're watching Dancing with the Stars, it's a totally different type of programming. But they're both there. They're both there for you to choose from. So you make the choice of that input that comes in. So don't give away airtime to the reality from which you're trying to escape. You know, if you're complaining a lot about the president, about the world where we're at, do you want to listen to more Fox and CNN? Because you'll get more of that, and it'll just nurture what you're already thinking. Or if you want to watch Dancing with Stars or something else that's enjoyable, you choose that programming. You know, it's whatever you choose. It's all there. So now let's look at the idea. Is this glass half empty or half full? Yes. Who sees it as, the glass has a little bit of a slant, but just who sees it as half full? Okay. Tina's like, I do. Who sees it as half empty? So you see both, yeah. I'm not drinking now because I'm thirsty. Couldn't touch it until now. So what are you affirming when you say, I see the glass, I see my life, I see my ideas half full or all the way full? Right. But if you have half a glass and you see it half empty, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It really is about the choice of what we focus on.
Yes.
It isn't about the fullness or emptiness of the
Yeah.
glass, that second bit. What do you want to focus on?
Right. Yeah, exactly. So are you conscious when you affirm something? Are you aware of what you're saying? Are you, or do you go unconscious and you don't realize the impact of what you may have just said or thought? You know, what are some ideas about that? Mm-hmm. Yes. Is it easy to fall back?
It's not just a Sunday.
Right. Yeah, it's not during this half hour. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what would you say instead if you want to change that thought? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And sometimes it's a bit of a stretch because you may not, it's hard to imagine believing it when you really do feel tired. But your feeling can be changed because that is also in there, is that you feel rested. Yeah. There you go. Yeah. Yeah. And is there anything wrong with being tired? Yeah.
Except it's when it's an automatic unconscious.
Yeah. Yeah. If it's a habit. Yeah, right. Carmina, what did you say? Yeah. Yeah. That's making it okay. It's a positive thing. So maybe I'll take a rest. Yeah.
Stop beating myself up as a forerunner so I can stay open to the process.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I block it by beating myself up. That's wrong. Why did I do that? And letting it go.
Right. That's good. And Wendy? And yes. Yeah, that's good. That's really good.
The other thing that is, what is it that my body needs right now?
Yes, yeah.
Rather than reflexively saying to I'm tired,
You might be
maybe
thirsty.
it's actually I've been worrying about something or I've been holding something or carrying something that I could actually release.
Yes. So tuning in. Yeah. Yeah.
It's wonderful to see how much we actually do know when we take the time to tune in.
Yes.
That's the consciously.
Yes.
So the
Yeah.
value of presence can't be overstated.
Yes. Exactly.
And not having to do everything at once, just take it piecemeal. You can do anything for one day.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Right. Yeah. Yeah. I know. There was another one I wanted to mention. Let's see. Well, okay, so there's an author, Amy Moran, and she tells us if you draw inaccurate conclusions about who you are and what you're capable of doing, you'll limit your potential. So that's what we're talking about here. Is
I've experienced doing that.
yeah,
So this is not something strange and exotic.
right. That's right. Simple. So you can choose to create your future right now, and we're going to do that actually. What is it that you want? So you're going to create an intention, an affirmation. And when you write your affirmation, we're going to take a couple of minutes to do it. And Varsha, if you wanted to just do a little bit of quiet piano during that time, that would be great. Some music really helps you go deep into your subconscious mind. So you're going to create an affirmation, and actually in your bulletin, there's a little, let's see, it's on the insert. It's right down here on this one. If you want another card, then Claire has the cards. Okay? Yeah. Oh yeah, you can do it on the blank. But if you want a separate card, raise your hand and Claire will get that to you. Okay, Claire, you want to come on out? And thank you, Claire. So you're going to create this affirmation as if it's happening right now. It's not what I wish will happen. It's I am. It's happening right now. It's already happening, and you're grateful for it. So the physical world may not have caught up with it, but the seed is planted. So you're going to affirm that right now. So let's take about 2 minutes and just put some thought into it, because this is real for you. This is going to happen. This will happen today. So I affirm that, or however you want to say it, but it is already happening. It's not, I wish that in a week this will happen. It's right now. Does anybody need more time? I realized I actually missed a page of my notes here, so I'm going to just go back a minute just to bring out a couple things that I think are important. Is that once you draw a conclusion about yourself, you're likely to do two things. One is to look for evidence that reinforces your belief and discount anything that runs contrary to your belief. And this means a positive or a negative. You say a positive affirmation, you're going to look for evidence and look for people that reinforce what you say about yourself and discount anything that runs contrary. Like that's not me, that's not for me. So in looking at your affirmation, does anybody care to share? Okay.
I have an abundant amount of energy today to accomplish all tasks.
Great. And you need it, right, Paul? He's in the process of moving to Chicago. Yes, Vance?
I am present, aware, and choiceful in my life.
That's great. And Richard?
I am peace and love in action.
Yes, you are.
Everything I eat turns to my perfect health and beauty.
Good. And Barbara?
Masculine present to the fullness, comfort, ease of movement, love, joy, and harmony in my life.
Beautiful.
I am that.
Yes. And Greg, did you have one?
Experience abundance in my relationships, finances, experience I go unafraid, eyes wide open, knowing that God is the
Beautiful. Thank you. Yeah. So awesome. So there's an Irish playwright, George Bernard Shaw, that said, life isn't about finding yourself, life is about creating yourself. Yeah. And that's so true. That's what we're doing right here now. So be intentional in creating your reality. Everything surrounding us is an effect of what we believe in and what our reality is. In order to carry a positive action, we must develop here a positive vision. That's from Dalai Lama. So what if your tomorrow consisted only of what you were grateful for today? Can you imagine that? That's planting a seed. So today, I create a new reality for my life. I choose words, thoughts, and actions that speak the truth of my vision for my life. And this next thing is a Dr. Seuss quote. Congratulations. This is today on Facebook. I found this. I just love it. Congratulations. Today is your day. You're off to great places. You're off and away. You have brains in your head. You have feet in your shoes. And you can steer yourself any direction you choose. So, thank you.